Well, welcome to Sports Talk on HCAM. I'm Brian DeStupe along with Alex Vogel and Joe Pransky. We missed our show last week because of the blizzard, but we're here now. So we're going to catch up on some Super Bowl stuff that we would have talked about last week. Well, welcome to Sports Talk on HCAM. I'm Brian DeStupe along with Alex Vogel and Joe Pransky. We missed our show last week because of the blizzard, so we were not able to come here to film it. So that means we'll be talking about Super Bowl stuff that we would have talked about last week, along with some other things of all the Bruins games we saw, the Celtics game we saw. So our thoughts will be kind of combined from the 2 weeks. So we got some interesting stuff. We obviously have the Super Bowl. We're going to quickly go after the Patriots off-season outlook coming up in this offseason. What are they going to do? What's going to happen? Talk about the Celtics. They've been on a huge winning streak. They lost a game, but they won a game against the Bulls. Looking really good right now. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a piece I wrote up. It's NBA growing teams. We're going to talk about teams that we think will be good, not good, but they have young pieces in play. It's a good thing to do around now. All-Star weekend with the young game tonight with all the young players, the prospects they play and they pick teams. It's always good. And we'll end the show with Bruins and NHL thoughts. So let's quickly get to the Super Bowl. What did you guys think of the big game? Let's start with Joe.
I thought that it was a good game, like most games. Yeah.
What do you think?
I thought it was a very good game, including after the lights went out.
Yeah, I got close.
It did.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, the first half was like, to me, it was like the Ravens were blown away with the game. I thought it was over. I thought the Ravens won the Super Bowl, which I was shocked. Because I thought we all picked the 49ers. I thought they were a better team. And we'll get something after this proves that you don't have to get a bye to win a Super Bowl. But after that first half, Jacoby Jones takes for a touchdown. Again, he kicks returns for a touchdown. I'm like, this game is over. Lights go out, 17 points from San Francisco in about a minute 20-something. And it's a game again. And it's a great game to the end. And then that goal line stand by that Baltimore defense, Ray Lewis, they got the strength to get through that. They were able to stop it. And last play was controversial. They did not call holding on Michael Crabtree in the end zone. What did you guys think seeing that? The ball's up. It's fourth down. So any call you make is going to be controversial. It's either no call or call. I think it would have been more controversial if a call was made. What do you guys think on that? Was that a nope? Should that have been called? Or were they fine? Joe?
Yeah, I thought it should have been called because it was a holding, and they should have it's in the Super Bowl, so it should have been called because the refs are supposed to be strong and go for every penalty. Yeah.
What did you think of that, Alex?
I also agree with the decision I also agree with Joe that they should have called it because the refs, it's the Super Bowl, they should have actually gone and called it because they have to be more strict with that.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings of it. It's like it's a Super Bowl. You don't want to call something too crazy. But then, it's a penalty's a penalty, and it was holding. But I just think with the magnitude of that, you got to let the guys play. It's fourth down, so you have to let them play. It's Super Bowl. And I think they brought great pressure. They said, we're going to hit Kaepernick, we're going to blitz him and make a panic, and he threw the ball up. And I just think it was a good call by the Ravens D. They were able to step up. They would have won. Flacco played good, and I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's the Brady, the Manning, the Rodgers level, but...
Which Manning?
Peyton. I put Peyton above Eli. Even though Eli's won 2 Super Bowls. We could have that debate another day of who's better.
Yeah.
But I just think he's not there. But you got to give the guy credit. He went in, and I don't think he threw an interception all playoffs. And he went in, and he played a Colts team, and he played good enough for the win. But then he goes into Denver and plays as clutch as he did in that game at the end of that, and then goes to New England and plays as well, and then in the Super Bowl. A great run for him. I think people need to give him just a little more credit for what he did. Because I thought he came out and he played great playoffs. I wouldn't put him elite, but he's in. Wait, I want to talk about this right now. Is generally what you do is you pay guys based off other guys that position's salary. So a couple of years ago, Manning and Brady got deals around the same. I think it was like $18 million a year. So that's what you do. And then Breed's got the highest contract this past year. You try to make your guy the highest at that position. So at quarterback right now, Drew Brees is the highest. There's talk, the Ravens, obviously, Flacco's rookie deal's up, and they might give him, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I don't think he should be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, me too.
He's nowhere near Drew Brees level, as you said before.
Yeah, I don't think he's on that level. I don't think he should get paid that much. I think that he definitely deserves a payday and a long-term deal, maybe $10 million a year, but not $20 million a year. That's a lot of money for a guy who thinks good, but he's not elite. He's not an elite quarterback. And he's done good. And I put him along with that Eli Manning kind of group because those guys were both clutch. I mean, those guys both went. I mean, Eli won 2 Super Bowls, and obviously, I think Eli's one of the guys that the game's on line. I want him in because he makes plays under pressure. So this is where I want to get to this other thing here. The last 3 Super Bowl champions were obviously the Baltimore Ravens, the New York Giants, and the Green Bay Packers. I want you guys right now to take a guess at the seeds of all those teams. Joe, what do you think they are?
Well, the seeds.
Like, where in the standings?
Standings.
Probably higher.
No, like the numbers.
I
All right. Do you want to talk about it all, Alex, or no?
Like the 6th seed, I would say. Like the last seed, wild card, basically.
All right. Let me tell you what they were. It was 4, 4, and 6, which means they didn't get a bye at all. Green Bay had to go play every game on the road, and then Baltimore and the Giants had to play. Colin got 1 home game. They had to go win 2 on the road to get to the Super Bowl, and then obviously the Super Bowl is neutral. Okay, so this thing that you have to get the bye, I think it helps. I still think if you can get it, you take it. Like when the Patriots got it, I thought that was good for them. You want the bye, but the last couple of years, the team just haven't. I just don't think you could still win a championship as a 6th seed. Green Bay proved it. If you're hot, by the end of the year, you can win a championship as a 6, as a 5, as a 4. In 2007, the Giants did it as a 5 seed. In 2008, it was different. Pittsburgh won, okay? I'll give them that. They were 2. In 2009, the Saints won. They were a 1 seed. But in 2005 and 2006, Colts were 3. In 2006, 2005, the Steelers were a 6 seed. So most of the Super Bowl champions, since I'd say the Patriots won their last Super Bowl, have not been a 1 or 2 seed. It's only happened a couple times. So you can win a championship. This idea that you need a bye, I think it's getting thrown out the window. I think that, you don't need it. But I thought the game was good. I think Kaepernick's going to be good for years to come. He's the franchise quarterback of San Francisco. He'll keep developing and getting better. He's already dangerous. That team will be back next year. The Ravens, I don't know. It depends who signs back. They have a lot of free agents coming up. So that's what we're going to do for the Super Bowl. That's it for now. We're going to go quickly. We're going to talk about Patriots off-season stuff. Do this for a little while. They have Wes Welker and Aqib Talib free agents. They got some other guys. Those are the 2 main ones. So this postseason, the last they haven't won a championship obviously since 2004. The Brady window is closing of how many times you have him. So obviously you want to win at least 1 more championship before he goes, and who knows when Belichick's going to go. Might be the same time. So what are you going to do to make this team better or keep guys? The first thing I think when Aqib Talib came in here, he changed the defense. He made them better. And I think that, let's see. Oh, sorry, all right, we get a notice there. Alex to push his chair in, so. All right, we'll get back to what we were talking about. Anyway, so they have Wes Welker as a free agent and Aqib Talib. I was saying, Aqib Talib changed the defense. I thought he made him better. You need to get, I'd read a free agent. We'll get to that in a minute. So I think they said they do not want to give him a long-term deal for commitment issues. That means you tag him. I would tag him. I would definitely tag him. Depends how much the money is. Wes Welker, they were not tagged because they'll be paying him a lot of money. I don't know how much they're committed to sign him long term. I would. Would you guys sign Walker long term? If it's just a 3-year deal, you get 2 good years out of him. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Yeah.
I would do it. The guy has only led the league in receiving receptions every single year you've had him, except a couple. The guy, he gets open, he makes plays. He's great. He's Brady's security blanket. He deserves it. Some guys get paid and they don't deserve it. He's earned it, and he gets popped and he gets right back up. The guy has earned a payday, and if you're not going to pay him, someone else will. And they're not going to tag him. I think you need to sign him. I'm not sure they're going to, though, and that's my problem. Another thing is that obviously Gronk wasn't healthy for the playoffs, which hurt them in a way. If they had him, they might have been a different team. But should they add another receiver? I mean, Lloyd was good, but that deep threat guy that they had in Moss, maybe. What do you guys think? Do you think they should have a deep threat? A guy like a Moss.
Yeah, they should.
To make plays deep down the field. Do you think so, Joe?
Yeah.
Because they keep everything inside. I think if you could spread it out, which Lloyd did do a little bit. And I know Brady's not the greatest long ball thrower, but when you had a guy like Moss, you could just throw it and go get it. So I think if you can get a guy like that to the draft, I'm not really familiar yet with the draft class, so I can't go saying this is a strong in this category. I'm not 100% sure who's coming out and everything. We'll talk more about that towards April. But I just think that that would help your team. You need a guy in the secondary if Talib's going to go, which means Ed Reed's a free agent. Him and Belichick have a great relationship. Would you guys sign Ed Reed? And give me a reason why you would sign Ed Reed.
Yeah, I would, because he's a good player. Yeah.
Future Hall of Famer?
Let's get straight to the point.
What do you think? Yeah, definitely. What do you think?
I agree with Joe on yes, and also because he is a very good player.
He's a great player. I think he could change the secondary. If you got him and Talib, I think your defense in terms of pass coverage, you'd be a lot better. And I think their pass rushes will get better. They've got guys who can hit. They need to get better. I think maybe a linebacker who could get back to pass coverage. That would help their team. So that's what I think they should do. If they're going to sign Ed Reed, I don't know. So the Welker Talib thing is very interesting. What's going to happen, we don't know. But I'm excited to find out, and I hope they sign Welker as a Patriots fan. I think you need him back. Now, I was thinking about this the other day. The Patriots have a first-round pick around the 20s. If Matt Barkley's there, do you guys know who Matt Barkley is?
No.
You know what Matt Barkley is?
No.
All right, well, he's USC. He was there 4 years. He was a very good player. He was a captain there for 3 of them. He had a down year this year, and he has a shoulder injury, so he might fall into the 20s. You need that next guy for Brady. I don't think Ryan Mallett's it, but I think Matt Barkley has enormous talent, and I would spend that first-round pick. Would you guys spend a first-round pick on a guy who had a down senior season, has a lot of talent, I think, and hurt his shoulder? Would you guys... You might have other needs, but would you take that pick looking for the future in Barkley?
I would, because we will need a quarterback once Brady is gone, because we've only really been playing Brady, not our secondary much.
I'd look more towards defense than quarterbacks, because our defense is terrible so far. So we should probably, and our quarterback can still go another year. So, yeah, I think we should go. I
definitely think defense is obviously a big need on the team, and I think that's a thing, like first-round pick. Well, this is a guy, don't you want to win a championship now? I definitely think that. But I also think that, look, Green Bay took Aaron Rodgers when he fell into the 20s, and he was a top 10 talent. And he fell, and they took him, and Brett Favre played, and 3 years later, Aaron Rodgers came in, and look what he is now. And that team was good. 1 down year, good. They have a championship with this guy. They're getting to the playoffs every year, except his first year as the starter. That's what you got to do here. If you can get that guy, Matt Barkley, that's going to help you for the future. For guys who would come in here, I think that's what you need. And I think he has talent, and I think that he will, that shoulder injury, I don't know if it'll affect him, but I think he'll work hard to get back into shape with that shoulder, and I think that's good for you. And you can learn behind Brady. I think that will give him an advantage, suppose if he was going to go on another team and start right away. So that's what we're done with football stuff for now. We're getting close to the halfway point in our show. So the Celtics, we're going to get into NBA stuff right here. We haven't done as much. We're going to get into a lot of NBA stuff right now. The Celtics were on a 7-game win streak. They beat the Heat in that. They beat Denver, who's another really good team.
Lakers.
Yep, they beat the Lakers, a struggling Lakers team, but still, they have Kobe Bryant and Dwight Howard. So obviously, you went in and you beat them. They lost game to Charlotte, but they beat the Bulls, Roseless Bulls, but they still beat them. So Danny Ainge came out, I'm pretty sure, and said that he's not really looking to trade Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. Kevin Garnett has a no trade clause, and he's a loyal guy. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think Pierce going anywhere. I think when that trade deadline comes and passes, those guys will be here. Rondo's done. Leonardo Barbosa just got hurt. Obviously, Sullinger's hurt too, so you have some injuries. But you're playing well. Do you think that they should try to trade for someone to help them for the rest of this year to maybe make a playoff run? Would you guys do that?
To make it to the playoffs, I would probably trade one of the better players to get a better person.
What do you think, Joe?
Sorry, I missed the question. I was yawning.
Would you try to add someone to the Celtics team to make them better for a playoff run? Would you go out and trade? Because they're probably not going to trade Pierce or Garnett.
Yeah, I would.
I would too. I think they need a guard. I think they need a point guard. I know Avery Bradley can bring up the ball. I know Courtney Lee's not doing bad. But their guards right now with Barbosa out is their two starters, Lee and Bradley, and Jason Terry. You need another guy. I think Lee should come off the bench. You need to bring in a point guard on this team who can come in and play this year and is okay with it. And they might not get a chance next year to start if depending on what happens with Rondo. And you got to do that. And have Bradley play the 2. And at the 3, you have Pierce. At the 4, Bass, 5, Garnett. Obviously, I think they should try to get a big man who can get boards and play defense. I don't think that's going to happen, but if you can, great. Make sure the price isn't too high, though. If you get a guy to come play play center, have Garnett move to the power forward, I think that's ideal, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. But I think if you need to get a point guard. You need another guard with Barbosa hurt. Personally, I was thinking before the Charlotte game, Ramon Sessions. I don't know how much Charlotte would want. I know Charlotte has some guards. They got Sessions. They have Kemba Walker. They have Ben Gordon. They got plenty of guards. They were talking about trading Ben Gordon. His salary's high. But I think you take Ramon Sessions because he's not starting. He can start. He started with the Lakers last year. I would take him. I think he's a good player. He'd be great for this role. But you need to find someone at that position to come in and fill time if you want to make a playoff run. So could you get on NBA.com and just get to the standings for me?
Celtics are in 3rd place. I already checked it.
Are you sure? I think they were.
Celtics in the Eastern Conference are in 3rd. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see this for a second. Hold on. No, I think we're at division, guys. I was hoping. I mean the
entire
I think
conference.
they're in 7th.
Oh, my bad.
The conference. Yeah, they're 3rd in the division, but they're 7th in the conference. So what I think you need to do is you need to try to get up to a 6 to play the Pacers, because I think you might have a chance to beat them. A 5 to beat Brooklyn, stretching it. You're at 7. I think you need to get to 6. So I think because if you're gonna play the Knicks, you can beat the Knicks in a series, but that'd be 7. I think. And I don't think you're beating Miami. I think if you're playing any other team though, you can beat them. The way they're playing now, you can beat them. But here comes the Derrick Rose factor into all this Celtic stuff. Derrick Rose doesn't know. There was speculation he was going to come back right after the All-Star break. That's gone. He might not play this year. He says he doesn't know when he's coming back. St. Rose comes back in March, and his team's playing well without him, and he comes back and he's playing at a high level. That's another team. They move up in the standings. They're 3. That means, or if they stay at 4, you have to play one of those teams. That's trouble for you. So you got to hope that Rose either doesn't come back at all if you're a Celtics fan, or he doesn't play at a high level, because if he does, that's tough for you. So that's what I think they should do, personally, is you got to get some guys coming here with fresh legs and come in and help this older team out. So that's what we're going to do for the Celtics stuff. So we're going to do an NBA growing teams piece right now. I figured with the All-Star break, this would be a good time to do it. I love the whole rebuilding thing. I always find it interesting what pieces you're trying to get to a next level. What are you going to use your draft picks in on all sports? Hockey, baseball, basketball, football. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. So I love the trade deadline too. So I did some research on some of these teams who are young guys and they haven't made the playoffs, and what I think they're going to be and where I think they're at. So you guys ready for this? So I start with Cleveland. Obviously, they have Kyrie Irving. He's an all-star player right now. He's a great player. Great player. And he's a franchise guy. Been good for many years. He's 20 years old. They got him for plenty of years. They can keep him under contract. Then you got Dion Waiters. They took him fourth. If the guy can score for them, I think he'll be good. I think if a shooting guard, a scorer guy. I think that would be good for them. If he develops into a good player, then you got your 2 guards. That's good. Tristan Thompson was taken in the same draft as Irving. They had 2 top 5 picks. He got better from last year to this year. If he keeps progressing, you got a big man. He's 6'9", but he can get boards and he can play. I saw a sign LeBron James coming back. I'm not sure that's gonna happen. I'm gonna go with the assumption that LeBron James does not come back. Then you have Tyler Zeller. They took him in the first round. He played very good in North Carolina. 4 years. He was a senior last year. He could play defense, rebound for them. There you go, guys. You have a core team. I think Cleveland's going to be in the playoffs in 2 years, maybe even next year. They have a lot of young talent. I think these guys will progress. I think they've drafted well. I'm going to say right now, Cleveland Cavaliers will be in the playoffs in a couple of years. Second team, Detroit Pistons. They were a team, I don't know if you guys remember, with Cleveland in the playoff series a couple of years ago with LeBron, and then they went with all the whole core, Chauncey Billups and Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince and all them, Rip Hamilton. So right now they got Brandon Knight, combo guard, good player, good young player from Kentucky, still developing. Greg Monroe in his 3rd year, he's developed. He can play the 4 or the 5, currently at the 5. And you have Andre Drummond they took this year for defense and shot blocker, 19, I think. I think he should have stayed. So they got guys. They have Ronnie Stuckey, too, another combo guard. They have plenty of combo guards on the team. So I'm not sure about them. I think these pieces, honestly, are not going to work. But we're going to see what happens. They got pieces there. So that's the second team. So right now I got one team, a playoff team, and one team not. So if this stuff happens, you guys will remember this episode. If I predicted anything right. Hopefully, I don't know. Next team, Washington Wizards. They have John Wall, still young, only taken a couple years ago in 2010. Explosive, good young point guard. Now you got to build around him. They got Bradley Beal. There's been comparisons to Ray Allen. He has a shot. I watched him very closely in Florida because I'm a Florida Gators fan. Basketball, football. The guy could rebound. I thought he was a complete player. I think he should have stayed in college another year. But I think that if he could score for them in the future, they got 2 guys there. They also have Jordan Crawford. They have Nene. But I think what you need next for this team, the process of building, is a young big man who can come in and give you maybe 17 and 10 a night. That's what they need, a very talented young big man in the next couple years. And maybe they'll progress to a playoff team. So right now, out of all these teams, they only got Cleveland. So not in the near future with Washington. They get a young big, and they develop maybe soon. The New Orleans Hornets, they got Anthony Davis, franchise player, tall, big wingspan, could play defense great. If he could get he's a low post game. If he could turn into a great player for them, they got a guy to build around. They took Austin Rivers this year, too. The guy can score. He scored in college. I think another guy who should have stayed. I think pretty much anybody who's 1 and done, you should stay. But anyway, I think he definitely should have because he needs other aspects of his game to develop. We don't know if he'll be a 1 or a 2 guard, so I don't know about that. I think he got hurt. He's out for the season. Then they have Grievous Vasquez. He's actually done really good for Maryland. He was a very good player in Maryland. He could shoot. He could pass at a point guard, so he is 3rd year. So they also have Eric Gordon on their team. Their team's not doing so well, but I think that things will lighten up for them because I think they got a good core of young players. So that's them. I think they might be in the playoffs a couple of years from now. And then we got Charlotte. They got Kemba Walker and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I think Kidd-Gilchrist should have stayed in college. Kemba is a senior. He's averaging around 17 and 9 right now. And Kidd-Gilchrist hopefully maybe can, I know he's defensive, he's athletic. If he can score for you too, you got him. But you need to get another guy there. You need to get a guy who can score, a scorer, maybe a big in Charlotte. But they got 2 good young players there, so that's good. So right now, out of all these teams that I did, I'm picking the only team anywhere close is Cleveland. So I figured that'd be interesting to do right now as we're at the point of All-Star Weekend and stuff. So that's what I think on young teams that did that. I thought it'd be fun. That'd be a cool thing to do. So we have the Bruins of the NHL. We're going to end the show with hockey. I want right now Joe to tell me anything in the NHL he's found interesting about the Bruins, anything. His whole thoughts from our last show on about the Bruins. What do you think, Joe?
Well, the Bruins have beat their franchise record for the best season, beginning of the season, by winning 7 out of 11 games, and I haven't really. What did I say?
5 minutes left.
Oh, okay. I haven't really been looking at most of the NHL, mostly, but I've heard that from your brother Matt that the Phoenix Coyotes are changing into the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and
They're still not gonna be that good.
yeah,
They made
and
playoffs last year. They made a pretty good run, but
yeah, and I watched it LA game, and I noticed that Jonathan Quick wasn't as good as he was last year. Like the first ever, I think, NHL game this season, I watched Jonathan Quick play, and he wasn't as good as before. So that like struck me in a way, and and yeah, it's basically. Oh, Josh Hamilton. What? Dougie Hamilton. Is gonna try to work harder. He said that he's trying to become a better player. So, yeah.
yeah,
Kind of getting stuck. So you can talk now.
You got anything else about any Bruins or NHL stuff from the past week?
No.
No? Okay. I thought the Bruins they went up to Buffalo after get creamed.
Oh, I know something now. Yeah.
And they go to Buffalo and they beat them. They played Toronto. They won a 1-0 game, which was a grinder. I think they 2-0. They might have got empty. I don't know. I think it was 1-0. A grinder game. They lose a couple guys. They go to Montreal down 2-0, and they come back with guys hurt. Sagan, Krejci. They move Sagan up to that line. They play good. They go get a win there. Obviously, it was going to Buffalo.
That's interesting.
But then they showed resiliency, I think, against the Rangers in that game. They were down in the game. They weren't playing great. They weren't scoring.
3-0 and come back to.
Yeah, 2 goals
3-3.
in 1 minute.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. 3 goals in 9 minutes. 2 goals with the empty net.
Yeah.
They get that to overtime. That's crazy. That was unbelievable by them to get there. They didn't score in overtime. They lost the shootout. Personally, not a fan of shootouts on game. I like overtime, like the playoffs. I think that proves a hockey winner, not, hey, who's the best breakaway guys. But that's just my opinion. But they get a point out of that. They play well there. This team, big shocker, has heart. I think everybody knew that. Resiliency, they're a team, man. And I'm telling you, this team is just like that team a couple years ago. I think they're going to go to the Cup. I really do. I think this team's good. Even though they didn't beat the Rangers, they still got a point out of it. They've got, in every game they've played, there's only 1 game they lost in regulation. Still.
That was against the Rangers, too.
That game was against the Sabres. They got a point in both
Sabres.
times
Yeah.
they played the Rangers. So, I mean,
Yeah.
really, this team, I love what I'm seeing. They got a games coming up this weekend and stuff, but
Tonight.
I really love what I'm seeing with them. I think that they're resilient and they fight hard, man. And I think this team can go to the Stanley Cup because they have the heart. What's going to stop them, I think, is can their goaltender play well? I think and their power play needs to get better.
Yeah.
But I think this team's good. Their penalty kill's great. If their goalie can if Tuukka Rask could be good enough, not Tim Thomas great from a couple years ago,
Yeah.
but good enough, this team's going to go to the Cup. I'm going to say right now, I said it the last time, I'll say it again. I think they can go to the Stanley Cup. I really do.
Oh, I have a question. What do you guys think about the trading Tim Thomas?
Oh, good. That was a good thing. You want to go first, Joe?
Well, I think it was a good idea because we got all of that money off of our chests, and now we can have a chance to actually get a power play player who can actually score goals in power plays, unlike the rest of our team.
That's what I was thinking, too. I think, look, Tim Thomas wasn't going to play for you, and what happened was the Islanders had to get to the cap floor, the minimum you had to be at. They weren't there. Tim Thomas took it up to them, and that's what it was. But I wanted to say this, the Bruins definitely need a guy in the power play. I think to trade for it and come in and maybe can play in the third, second line. They may do some line shuffling. That's what they need to do. So that's good. I think that's what they need to do. But I'm interested. You're going to learn more about this team every time you see them play. So that's going to be good. So, wrapping up at the end of our show here. Next week, I know pitchers and catchers have reported spring training is underway. We will start baseball talk. We will start the Red Sox, what we think about them, and our whole views on the whole MLB landscape. Next week, we will talk about baseball. So that will be good, including more and more basketball and hockey.
Yeah.
Football, we'll go back a little bit with not some stuff, but we will talk with free agency gets underway. There will be football, and we will be talking around the draft. But like I said, next week we're gonna get baseball going. So, check us out on Facebook at Sports Show on HCAM. I'm not 100%
Sports
sure.
Talk, Sports Show, one of the two.
Yeah, one of those two.
Yep,
Try,
so-
try both of them, and
Yeah.
if you don't, and if it doesn't work, try both of them in the same sentence.
Yep. So check us out on Facebook, Sports Talk on HCAM. We'll be back next week. I'm Brian DeStupe along with Alex Vogel, Joe Pransky, and we'll see you next time. Was a good show.
It was.
I'm tired. I always get tired on Fridays.
Brian, I saw you stalling to get it to the 30-minute mark.